On this week's episode, we discuss The Last Anniversary by Liane Moriarty. We also discuss our favorite restaurants and dining out. Happy listening. Welcome to this week's episode of the Books, Booze, and BS podcast. I'm your host, Mike. This week, I am joined by Lynn, Crystal, and Julie. Everyone say hello.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. What is everyone drinking this evening? Crystal, I know you unfortunately do not have a beverage.
I am alcohol free because the hotel has no alcohol, and DoorDash didn't have alcohol where I ordered from. So I'm having Diet Coke.
Diet Coke is a delightful second choice.
It's a good alternative.
Okay, cool. I mean, are you in Utah? What's happening?
I am in lovely Rockford, Illinois, and the Fairfield Inn does not really have anything right now. So I think it's their restock day or something. They had water and soda and some really bad microwave stuff, and that's it.
That's
Julie.
so disappointing after you've been traveling all day. I'm sorry.
It is. That's why I promptly DoorDashed something. It was pretty bad.
Well, I am having a margarita that I just happen to have in the fridge pre-mixed, and so I figured I'd grab one of those.
I should have done the same thing. I have a container of pre-made ripe in the fridge from one of the pool days, but I did not do that.
Yeah, this was margarita mix that I had used part of, and then my sister moved overseas and basically gave me all of her leftover alcohol. So I came home with a big thing of Tito's not Tito's, big thing of tequila that I put in there, and it's been sitting there, so why not?
Marinating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little Mike J lore for our listeners. He was an excellent bartender, and I remember the Mike J margaritas, Mike J specials were absolutely incredible. So I miss my 20s. Well, I don't remember a lot of my 20s because of Mike, but I miss them. And I'm
those $2.99 margaritas on Mondays.
Oh yeah. And I am having a heady topper because I went into our fridge and we had one left.
And you called dibs.
Yep.
What's a heady topper? What is that?
It's a beer from Alchemist in Vermont. It's for a long time it was considered the best beer in the world, and it's still really good.
Yeah, it was like when IPAs really started to take off. It was like that and Sip of Sunshine were the two everyone always wanted.
Nice.
I found a pre-made espresso martini in the fridge, so I took that and then added some very seasonal pumpkin spice rum chata to it.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
Seasonal, but not this season.
I'm here for it. Give me all the pumpkin. It is 90-something degrees here. I would die for some pumpkin instead.
I mean, to be fair, it's going to be about 3 weeks until Pumpkinhead comes on draft everywhere, so I'm not that far off.
Ooh. It's after 4th of July. You can start celebrating fall after the 4th of July.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
And I'm pretty sure CVS already has Halloween candy on their shelf, so maybe you're onto something.
I'm willing away I think it's going to be 104 with the heat index tomorrow. I'm trying to will that away.
Ooh.
Thanks.
Best bite of the week, Lynn.
So the best thing that I had was tacos from a food truck at the Manchester Fireworks. This was our first year going, and I was actually really impressed by their fireworks and the whole thing, how it's put together. So it's at what was Manchester Community College. It's called something else now. So there's a ton of parking everywhere, and they had live music from 4 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. and a food truck festival. They had, for my kid, free bounce houses, face painting, balloon animals, and performers like jugglers and people on stilts the entire time. They even had a free water station where they gave out full-size Poland Spring bottles of water. So while I was there, we set up some chairs next to the band. My kid was dancing, and I had chicken tacos that were very well seasoned and delicious. So the vibes were right.
I'm surprised by the free water.
Yeah, me too.
Awesome.
Everything was free. I could not. It was so well done. There were not long lines for anything. It was fantastic.
Wow.
Wow.
Good to know
Except
for
my
next
kid
year.
did get stuck in the top of the bounce house because he refused to go down the slide and just screamed anytime anyone tried to make a move. So I had to be that jerk, that parent that has to crawl through the maze of the bounce house to get my kid and just yank him out by the feet. I want you to know, in my head, I was picturing like a backyard bounce house. And I was like, wow, that's some ambition. He climbed to like the top, like little rafter and those inflatables. And never mind.
Oh, multi-floor bounce house.
That made more sense.
Crystal, best bite.
You know what? I had nachos at the Yard Goats game, and it wasn't like it was special nachos. It's just sometimes really cheap nachos can do the job. And that was
Fake cheese. Fake cheese just hits.
The fake cheese and the sour cream and the pico was great. It was all what I needed that week.
Gambling with that pico right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think about that till later.
I think, isn't Illinois hot spot right now too?
You know what? With my luck, it probably is.
What did you DoorDash?
Red Robin.
Okay.
Ooh.
Should be
Because
safe.
of all the questions about that we'll get to later. And I just needed some Red Robin French fries after looking at your questions.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Julie, best bite.
I'm going to have to go with an acai fruit bowl from Swell in Old Saybrook. And I say that because I went last week with my twins after the beach. It was so good. I had not stopped thinking about it, and I had to go again today. So,
Love acai.
oh my goodness, it was like acai base with dragon fruit, like second layer. And because I have a little bit of a sore throat, that dragon fruit was like frozen, almost like sherbet. So it felt really good. And then bananas, strawberries, chia pudding, granola, coconut, and honey.
Oh, that sounds
It was
amazing.
ridiculous, and it looked like a work of art. And yeah, I think I need to budget for more of those in my life.
Art you get to eat. That's kind of the point of sushi, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
I think my best bite. So we're season ticket holders for the Hartford Athletic, and there's an ice cream food truck that's always there. Blue Chip Creamery. They're the ones that sell like those cookie sandwiches in stores.
Yep.
But they had my two favorite flavors of theirs at the game, so I obviously got a scoop of each. It was banana cream pie and a dirty Shirley.
Oh.
What is a dirty Shirley? I feel like
So it's
that's
cherry ice cream with a fudge swirl and cherries in it.
okay.
Very dirty.
Oh, and amaretto.
That sounds really good. Yeah, that I would definitely go for. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, both those flavors are top notch.
I would say the other runner up is my husband, I'm putting air quotes around, got a new grill for Father's Day. And I say that because I do all of the grilling and taking care of the grill, and he just gets the benefit of eating whatever comes off the grill. And I have just about perfected the grill pizza where you cook the dough right on the grill. And
Ooh, I love that.
And last week I made a prosciutto and arugula with fig and balsamic pizza that I was like, okay, how does this work? Do I just like start buying larger clothes now? Or do I wait until I'm gonna have to have a weight gain? Like what how does this work? So it was so good. Just enough char. It was perfect.
I was wondering if your air quotes were around husband or grill, because you didn't clarify it first.
That was my husband's new grill. Funny.
Recipe of the week. I know that we're two of us that made it and two that did not. Cherry lemon poppy seed cake. Julie, what did you think of it?
Okay, so I was excited about this because I love lemon poppy seed. I love the addition of the cherries. I did have to think for myself, wait a minute, do I have a bundt cake pan? I did. It was down in the stock room. Poppy seeds, Thank God our cars don't run on poppy seeds, because it was like $7 for a tiny little, like, you could have really made like lemon crack cake with cherries, because like, and it would have been like less expensive than the poppy seeds, because anyways, but the poppy seeds were great. I served it last night when we had like the family dinner, and the out of 1 to 5, there was a 5, 4.2, 4, and my daughter, who hates lemon stuff, obviously gave it like a 1. But average was like 4.5. So, yeah.
That's a win.
Yeah,
That is a win.
definitely a win.
I love the specific of a 4.2.
I know. I was thinking of the whole Goodreads thing where like we appreciate the point something, because we always want to do like half stars. But yeah, so everybody enjoyed it. Everybody is enjoying the leftovers. I did not do double the icing.
Like I did.
Yeah. Yours had a hat on of icing. But it was enjoyable, and I'm still enjoying the leftovers.
Yeah, I'd also
Not
recommend
gonna
making it.
That was the one recipe I was like, I have got to make this, and now I'm jealous it was for this episode. I will definitely make it when I get home.
And we anxiously
Yeah,
await
I'm
the
definitely
review.
going to make it. I'm definitely going to make it before this podcast goes live.
It was interesting because I very rarely make a cake from scratch. Like, I make cookies from scratch, and I make whatever other things from scratch instead of a box. But like, I guess I really haven't made too many cakes from scratch, because the boxes are so easy and quick, and they're usually, fairly good.
And you can doctor up a box mix to make it more bakery-like.
Exactly. But it was good. And certainly wasn't difficult to make it from scratch.
Just a lot of zesting.
Yeah, a lot of zesting. I was thinking of that scene in, I think it's The Breakup, Jennifer Aniston and Vince Vaughn, when she's like, "What is this?" And he comes home with the lemons, and he's like, "Those are your lemons. Baby wanted lemons. Baby got lemons." And she was like, "Baby wanted 9 lemons." And he's like, "What do you need 9 lemons for?" And that was me. I was like, "Baby needs like 6 lemons for the cake." Okay, so
All right. Let's get into this week's book, The Last Anniversary by Liane Moriarty. We'll do our normal roundtable, favorite quotes and passages, things that you liked about the book, things you didn't like. Let's start with Lynn.
So I really liked this read, which is great because I haven't said that in a little while from one of the books we've read on this podcast. But no, I really enjoyed it. I thought each character was well thought out, differentiated, and the different plot lines complemented each other well until we got to the anniversary night where they all intersected and calamity happened. So we switch to different character perspectives frequently and go back and forth through time to tell the mystery of the Monroe baby. So I was a little lost at first, and it took me a reread to actually find all the incredible foreshadowing that was inserted in those first few chapters. So when we meet Sophie and she's willed Connie's house, she mentions that this has happened before. And she thinks back on her mother telling her that when she gets all wide-eyed with admiration about something, that people feel compelled to give it to her. And then when Grace sees Sophie admiring her husband and son, she mentions having a feeling of just being compelled to hand them over to her to make her happy. So also in those first chapters, Rose, after finding Enigma, is described with a lot of the same imagery and description by Connie as Grace was by Sophie. In other words, disconnected, off, kind of disappearing into themselves. And we know why Grace feels that, postpartum depression, which helps clue us in as to why Rose felt that way with the new baby Enigma. And also, I do have to call out that when they're describing their favorite unsolved mysteries, they bring up the Monroe baby along with the breadboard murderer, which we find out who actually committed that at the end. And lastly, when Grace is wondering if Alice has postpartum depression, she discounts it because Alice was able to make a marble cake. And Grace said, you can't make a marble cake if you have postpartum depression. And that was such an interesting parallel to everyone discounting Callum's fears that his wife had postpartum depression because she made those homemade cards. There were so many others too. Like Ron thought that one of his kids would be gay, and it turned out he was right, just not about the right kid. And Connie picking up on Grace's relationship with her mother when she was a teenager. So very well written, well thought out, and a ton of different personalities with a lot of reasons for conflict. So I personally probably felt most closely tied to Grace's storyline. Like Grace, I thought I would see my child when he was born be overcome with love and joy. I had a very romanticized view of what motherhood would look like. I didn't have postpartum depression, but I did experience some pretty bad baby blues, and it took me a while to feel that bond with my son. And my son is literally, he is my life, he is my joy. But everything that Grace felt, the numbness, the feelings of failure, the uncomfortable, intrusive thoughts, I felt those, but probably at a 4 while Grace was feeling them at a 10. Which, that makes me want to call out the parallels between Grace having the intrusive thoughts about bashing her son's skull in, and Sophie right after having intrusive thoughts about smashing Jake's head into the door frame. So what helped me through that period and what eventually helped Grace as well was spending more time with Jake. My son's name is also Jake, which is Grace's son's name. And developing that connection helps strip out some of that numbness until that incredible flood of love and joy did finally come. So I connected really hard with Grace's story because I remember how much my hormones changed me into a new person, and that journey back into falling in love with my new life. So I also related to Sophie, who was nearing 40, which is where I currently sit, and wanted kids. And I've been very open on here that I've dealt with a ton of infertility and not being able to have kids when I wanted them or as many kids as I want. So I understand that feeling of urgency and need. And I did find it interesting that she definitely wanted what she couldn't have. Sophie did not want Thomas, who loved her, wanted to make her happy, and would have built his life around her. And she didn't want the 2 guys that were interested in her on the island, except with each one. When she finally decided to pursue something with them, it was right after they decided they didn't want anything to do with her. She only really wanted Callum, who was unattainable and frankly forbidden, despite Grace's approval of their affair. So a theme that kept being repeated in the book was that love is a choice that you make every day. And I think Grace and Callum choosing each other in the end, and Sophie choosing to potentially have a baby with her gay best friend really emphasizes that. Connie and Jimmy definitely had their ups and downs, but kept choosing each other. And we did see the most stable relationships made up of 2 flawed people who continue to choose to love each other. So there's so many characters and so much plot that goes on in this story that I don't think there's enough time for me to talk through everything that I liked and all my thoughts and feelings. So I'll just wrap it up with a few takeaways. Margie was an adorable human, and I'm so glad she got her happy ending with her husband finally feeling lucky to have her again. Veronica, I did not want to like, but she actually kind of grew on me, and I'm glad she realized her obsession with Sophie was because she had a crush on her, and she was able to move on with Audrey. Thomas was about as exciting as milk, and I could see why Sophie left him. And Enigma, I wanted to like, but she got very annoying and just was so selfish by the end. And it was about halfway through that I figured out that her mother was Rose, and that's when she started annoying the crap out of me. And Laura can fuck right off. Even though she saved Grace, I just can't believe how much she emotionally abused her daughter for decades and then jetted off for a year right after Grace had a baby. She's just such an awful human. And the one quote that I will leave this off with is, but Grace quite likes the fact that you can think something is one way all your life and then it turns out you're wrong. It can be something else entirely. It makes her feel free. Nothing is rigid. Things change. You can change your mind. You can change your thinking. All right. I'll pass that off to everyone else.
to Crystal.
Wow. I don't know how to follow that. That was amazing. I will say this was probably a 3.5 star for me. I liked it, but wasn't in love with it. I enjoyed that there were multiple point of views and it wasn't like a point of view per chapter with the person's name on top of it. You kind of had to get to know the way that the characters were speaking, but sometimes, just because of the type of reader I am, it was a little bit too much switching between, and I couldn't remember who was talking where, and I had to go back and reread a couple things. I agree with everything that Lynn just said. I did appreciate Sophie's growth to well, go from Thomas to the end of just kind of loving herself. At least that was my takeaway with Sophie. Loving herself, going, you know what, I'm just going to do this by myself. I'm going to have a child on my own. I'm not going to keep looking for that fairy tale romance and then saying no to the two suitors when they came back to her. Kind of loved that when she was just like, oh, that's nice. Glad you're available now, but I'm good. And I did love the bread box murder, or was it the breadboard murder?
Breadboard murder.
Yes, the breadboard murder at the end. I was like, all right, I can get behind you doing that, and really appreciate that form of revenge. That was for what happened to her. That was absolutely perfect. It was a good story. I couldn't figure out what the anniversary was for a while. And when I go into these types of reads, I try to figure out the mystery right away. And that was the wrong thing to try to do until I put two and two together. I will say I had the opposite appreciation of Veronica. She just annoyed me the entire time, and the girl needed to chill out just a little bit. I just could not get to love her, but I did love Margie and her story of also learning to love herself and taking care of herself and doing the bodybuilding contest with Rotund Ron.
I love that name.
I love that name.
I loved those two. I secretly was hoping that she would end up cheating on Ron with Rotund Ron. Ron, that's too many Rons in a row. But I did love the story that they ended up doing a bodybuilding contest and winning second place in a TV for all their hard work. I also agree Laura was just an awful human being. Ron was even worse. And Enigma just needed to stop crying.
Yes.
For the love of, I understand being emotional. We can all be emotional from time to time, but Enigma needed to stop crying. And oddly enough, I gave Connie a lot of credit for coming up with this Monroe baby situation to save her little sister from going through an unplanned pregnancy and after a rape and bringing in all this money. Was it the right thing to do? Maybe not, but she was able to set up her family for life, and I got to give her a lot of credit for her creativity on that one. Overall, it was a good book. There wasn't a lot of quotes that stood out to me, but I'm going to stick with probably about 3.5 stars on this one.
I usually round up my review with mostly quotes, so that is fine.
Yeah.
Julie.
So I enjoyed the book. There are some other books from Liane Moriarty that I really, really enjoyed. Later books, the Apple Falls, the Apple one, truly, deeply, whatever, anyways. So I could definitely tell that this was a little bit earlier in her writing career. I enjoyed it, but at times it was not entirely clear what the relationships were. Like I knew Connie and Rose were the sisters that found quote unquote Enigma, but then like Connie didn't have kids and Rose did. It really literally took me till the end of the book to figure out like who Rose's children were, other than Enigma, which we find out, and who their children were, and because there were so many characters with the sisters and the baby, the Monroe baby, and the children, and then now their spouses, and so there were in-laws, and there were like, ah!
Yeah.
So I almost had to make a chart. And eventually I was like, okay, it just doesn't matter. You know who kind of these people are, what generation they're in. So I just kind of put that aside, like not worrying exactly who were siblings and who were in-laws and who were whatever. But I loved Sophie's arc. And when she, near the end of the book, kind of realized, you know what? I have this gift that I have this house and I have this life and I don't have to, I could do whatever I want because that's, you didn't need to stick in that dead end HR job. Like you have the freedom now that you could explore or whatever you wanted to do because you don't have that mortgage hanging over your head. So I love that kind of like light bulb moment. And Veronica was certainly intense. But then I love the fact that when she comes to the anniversary and she's like, this is my girlfriend, Audrey. It's my girlfriend. Did you hear me? My girlfriend. And they were like, yeah, that's fine. That's great. Like, I think that's what everybody's experience should be. Like, instead of, needing to come out, like, my kids have always known that they would just be like, this is my boyfriend or this is my girlfriend. Okay, hi, nice to meet you. Like, wait, are you staying for dinner? Like, so I love that, like, her coming out was such a nothing thing in the family,
Well, I also
Um,
love that like Ron didn't understand at first, and when he was on the jet ski leaving, he's like,
exactly.
"Wait, did
Yeah.
Veronica say she's gay?"
Yeah. But I
Exactly.
also love Margie. Margie was just fine with it. Like, yeah,
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 I was like,
that's
oh,
my
yeah.
daughter.
I had lunch
Yeah,
with her last
yeah.
week.
Yeah, so I did love that kind of non-issue around her coming out. I wish that some of that was explored a little earlier in the novel. Like when I was reading it and I got like 3/4 of the way in, I'm like, geez, this is unusual for Mikey's podcast. Like, I wonder why he chose this book because there are really no gay characters in this book. And then there ends up being 2 in the last like 25% or whatever. So yeah, that was interesting that they kind of held that till the end. But I love the fact that, like one of you said, like love is a decision, it's not a feeling, because anybody who's been in a marriage or has had children or whatever, like, you know, you have to get through the days where you're like, what the hell am I doing? Like, this person is driving me insane, and you do get through those times if you wait. But, people get together now, and the first time they have signs of trouble, they're like, oh, we're drifting apart or whatever. And that's not always the case. Sometimes there's peaks and valleys. It's all about peaks and valleys. And there are a couple of those light bulb moments, like Grace with Jake at the end when they were climbing and her sweat dripped on his face. And she felt that lightning bolt of like, oh, I do love this child and I would die for him. And with the breadboard murder, you know, Rose didn't necessarily feel that for Enigma either at first. But when he insulted her, she was like, "Oh, fuck no. No, that is my child,"
Yep.
and she just reacted. And so there's
Deserved.
all
Deserved. It was well
totally
deserved for multiple
100%
reasons.
deserved. But like, I like to feel like that was more her protection of her child being insulted than her just getting revenge on her rapist.
Yeah.
I mean, it was that pushed her over the edge. And so I love that. And, Grace, when she had the failed plan and she was like, I can't believe I ever thought of doing it, like, and I think that's what happens a lot of times when people attempt to take their life, that if they don't succeed, they immediately regret it. And so I think that was an important part to the story. A lot of heavy issues in this book: rape, postpartum depression, suicide, you know, infidelity, like
Mhm.
all sorts of things. And but a lot of those lightning bolt, like Ron, when he like first realized that, was it Margie, like had lost all this weight, and he's like, "Oh my god, like, yeah, I guess I really haven't looked at her lately,
Drove me nuts.
I know.
What do you mean you haven't looked at your wife? Your wife is with you all the time. What do you mean you
She
don't look at your
also
wife?
said she had been enjoying the fact that she was still wearing her large clothes. It's like she had said she didn't really, she needed to buy new clothes, but she had enjoyed the fact that it was almost her secret, like how much she had gotten in shape. She kind of kept it to herself for a little bit, and she was still wearing her overly large clothes. And so, yes, he was clueless and he needed to be more attentive, but it wasn't entirely his fault either because she was kind of, doing that purposefully.
Yeah, just to build on a couple of things you mentioned, with Grace constantly saying, I don't love my son, but then asking Sophie, what's your opinion on schools? What's your opinion on this? Like that really demonstrated to me like, oh, she loves him.
Yeah,
She's
she
just not
clearly
ready
did.
to
Right.
address that. Yeah.
Yeah, she
And
clearly did, but she was struggling with how to she didn't maybe she didn't think she was good enough for him, and she wanted to pass him off to somebody who would have been good enough, who would have loved him the way he deserved, or which is so, so sad, but
very much a postpartum depression symptom,
yeah,
though. Very
yeah,
classic. And in regards to the comments you made at the beginning about not like needing to map it out, I did too. And I kept
Seriously.
struggling because they kept saying Grandma Enigma. And I finally was like, she's great grandmother Enigma.
yes,
Because I kept trying to make her grandmother to Jake.
yeah. I almost went
I'm
to,
with you.
ChatGPT and said, make me a family tree for this book."
It needed to be like one of those. I love fantasy books when they actually give you a family tree. I was like, I desperately need this. I could not keep up with who was who after a while. I was so glad you said that because I thought it was just me. And I'm so glad I'm not the only one
Yeah,
who
no,
loses
I
track.
tapped out at 7 characters. Once there's more than 7 characters in general, I'm like, okay, I need a chart.
And I think this one was tough because most of her books are like this. She has a ton of characters and they all go from the perspectives. But I think this one was tough because it was all family and related. Where
Right.
you're trying to
Mhm.
connect those dots. Where if it's all separate relationships, you don't need to do that.
Big Little Lies, it was just friends and couples, so you kind of knew which couples went together and this was different. Yeah, because it's all generational and if unless you have a real strong visual of the people, then a couple times they mentioned it was the 73rd anniversary, so Enigma was 73 and Connie was in her 80s or whatever, and Rose was, so they did kind of mention that, but then that was maybe halfway through the book or something. So now I was like, okay, so the kids, Thomas, Sophie, whatever, are in the 40s, but yeah, it took a little while to get to that.
Yeah, Grace was 34, and I was trying to do the math between her age and Enigma to figure out how old her mother was and how old she was when she had kids.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because Enigma was 73 because it was the 73rd anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
And Laura was probably in her 50s.
Which meant she had Grace at 18. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep, I
Oh,
still need a diagram.
yep. Glad it wasn't just me either.
Which means that Rose was a great great grandmother.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's crazy.
So one of the things I was thinking, so if this was, you know, so they had this Monroe baby mystery. Was it better solved or unsolved? Which would you want if you were in that family? Which can you imagine living on this island and oh, the kookaburras and I first of all I kept thinking of it as in the ocean, not on a river. I can't picture the river, but anyways, it seemed idyllic. And there was another book that I read and maybe miniseries that I've seen that was adapted from the book where there was an island. And so I kept picturing that. But I was wondering if, you would want the mystery solved or if you would want it to stay unsolved.
I'm a terrible liar, so if I knew the answer, I would prefer it to be solved and out in the open because it's obviously I understand why they did what they did. They created a lot of wealth out of it, but I cannot be trusted to keep a secret.
Right.
I liked the idea of keeping it within the family. Like someone at least knew the truth, but again, I give Connie credit. She kept
Yeah.
that family afloat. This one little story, and I would have just wanted to keep it within the family. Maybe not wait till they're 40. I think waiting till 40 was a little too long. 18,
Yeah.
25,
Or maybe
maybe
at 30.
25. Yeah, I thought 40 was a little too old. Also for poor Enigma. Oh my gosh. But I think keeping it with the family, and that way it still keeps part of the culture in the area too, and it keeps bringing business to the island because now what's going to happen?
It also, I kept trying to think of the timeline. Like this was published, I think, in 2005, and it may have been reflecting a timeline slightly before that because they make a mention of Margie getting a text and how they didn't even know she knew how to text. And so cell phones and I think at some point they mentioned somebody like snapping their cell phone shut like it was a flip phone. So it was clearly back, and certainly when Enigma was born, it was pre-technology. There had to be some willing suspension of disbelief that this was not investigated further, when
Yeah.
these people went missing. But I guess what would they say? There were these people, they rented the thing, the dad never saw them. I did kind of like the explanation at the end that like the dad was grieving the mom and never really saw them. And it was probably only about 6 or 8 months that they were quote unquote living there before they disappeared. So yeah, that was interesting.
So I will say 2005 makes a lot of sense to me because the Razor phone was very popular then.
Yes.
That's when my husband and I started dating. So that's why I have that timeline so prominent in my head. I think when the whole comment of, do you even know how to text is when I went, oh my gosh, when was this book actually copyrighted? And that's when I looked it up and I was like, okay, that's where we're at.
Yeah,
Because,
T9.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I chose this book thinking it was one of her more recent ones, not knowing how old it was.
But yeah. So what'd you think, Mike?
I enjoyed it. I feel like I enjoy most of the things I've read by her. I think she's a good storyteller. I think she developed some good character arcs. I'll admit with everyone else that the cast of characters was definitely a lot to keep track of. And just a couple of basic things. Fuck Laura.
Yep.
Like everyone else said, Enigma needed to stop crying. I mean, maybe she was just upset that she got stuck with the name Enigma for her life.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was horrible.
Seriously.
That was not right.
I mean, she was named by a teenager.
That's true.
There you go.
And Veronica, she got a little bit of an arc at the end, but I don't think it was enough to make me enjoy her character.
I just love how I think what turned it for me was her loving Audrey as much as she did right from the get-go, especially being like, Audrey's so annoying. She never kicks in beat with everyone else to, this is my girlfriend.
Yeah.
But if we know anything from her character, it could be a week from now. They're going to be broken up because she moves on to something else.
Yep. I hope not.
But
Yeah.
I'll share some quotes because I think everything else was said about the book. Right off the bat, like I know all of Liane's books take place in Australia. And I think it was Rose and Connie talking. They're like, we could go to jail. That's my third worst fear. First, funnel web spiders. And I'm like, yep, that's definitely a number one fear. It's probably why I will never go to Australia is because of funnel web spiders.
Funnel web spiders, then childbirth, then jail.
Yep. Also, like this is obviously part of like her postpartum depression, but when Grace is laying in bed, and she snaps on the lamp and winces at the yellow spotlight, her arms in front of her, resting on her duvet, looking strange in the light, as though they're not hers. She thinks of that American rock climber who had to chop off his own arm after he was trapped by a boulder. She imagines sawing diligently away at her own flesh, snapping her own hard, white, bloody bone, escaping. I was like, holy shit. Like,
Yeah,
who?
that is descriptive.
Yes. Describing Thomas's wife as dull as dishwater Deborah. Fantastic.
I hated Deborah too.
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
pretty terrible.
Well, it's funny too that Thomas, loved Sophie. He wanted to marry Sophie. She broke his heart. And then he was like, well, shit, I just want to get married. And so he ends up hooking up with Sophie like whatever, months later or something. And I mean, with Deborah. And, and that's what he got. She's whatever. She's reliable and dependable and dull as dishwater. But,
Yeah,
he got his
rinse
way.
and repeat with dishwater Deborah.
Yeah.
Right after that comment, this is Enigma who called her dull as dishwater Deborah. Then she goes, oh dear, Thomas looks quite stupid today with his mouth hanging open like that. He probably does have a touch of brain damage.
I do love just how savage Enigma was.
But it was like a great characterization of like how old people are. Like old people have no filter. I loved when Sophie was getting pressured to have her reading taken by that random psychic, and everyone's like cheering them on to do it, and she finally does it. As soon as there's bad news, her mom yells out, "Charlatan!" This interaction. So he sees that Sophie has caught him looking and says, half apologetically, half leering, "That's why I call a yummy mummy." This was like the random person at the anniversary night.
Yeah.
And then she goes, with her most charming smile, says, "And that's why I call this sleazy daddy."
Oh, so uncomfortable.
So creepy.
I hated all the scenes of Callum and Sophie together.
Yeah, it was very uncomfortable. I think this is a typo because I couldn't figure out how this would relate back to the 1940s, 50s, whenever Enigma was the baby. There's a comment about the house not having a mortgage or having a mortgage, and it's either Rose. I think it's Rose saying this. We didn't know we had a mortgage, or that Dad's wireless was on a time payment plan. And I was like, what wireless are they talking about?
So the wireless was before radio. Like if you've ever watched Downton Abbey, they got wireless, which was, it's not a phone. It's like the pre-radio.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It was like pre-radio. Like they would turn on the wireless and let's listen to that program, when they listen to like radio programs. So yeah, that didn't strike me as odd because I'm used to that from Downton Abbey.
And the last thing I'll point out, I texted Lynn immediately today because I also finished the book today. I audibly gasped when Rose was revealed as the breadboard murderer. Gasped.
Yeah.
Same.
Did not expect that whatsoever.
I immediately texted Mike, but I finished the book over a week ago.
Yeah, I had all the intention to finish this earlier, and I've been really bad procrastinating on these books lately, where I'm finishing them the day of.
For some reason, it took me much longer than normal. Normally, it's like 3 to 4 days, and this took me at least a week, and I finished it about an hour ago, and we've been recording for 47 minutes. But and I don't necessarily remember them bringing up the breadboard murder early in the book. I remember the boat one.
Oh, so do you remember when Ed was joining for dinner and Connie was like, what is this guy's name? Someone say this guy's name. That whole scene?
Yeah.
So it was during that where they mentioned, Ed's a big fan of murder, big fan of mysteries. So he wanted to come and talk Monroe baby. And then they asked him, what's some of your other favorite mysteries? And he brought up the breadboard murder.
All right. I remember them. They kept bringing up the boat that disappeared. but I didn't remember much about the breadboard murder. But it
So
was
it's just
Yeah,
such a good
the
sprinkle
Mary
to then have it
Celeste.
be such a big thing.
yeah, the
Yeah.
Mary
Yeah.
Celeste.
The Mary Celeste is a real mystery, so
Yeah,
I think that's why they kept bringing it up. Yeah.
interesting.
So since we've been circling a little bit, I will start with Julie. Did you find the ending satisfying?
Yes, I did. I did. I felt everything. I was wondering how, with like 15% left, like how everything was going to wrap up in a tiny little bow. And which I love that when I read a book and I'm like, I don't want to see Callum leaving Grace necessarily. I don't want to see Grace dying. I don't want to see Sophie having an affair. I don't want to see and you're wondering how is this going to work out satisfactorily? And I think it did.
Crystal?
I agree. I enjoyed the way it ended, and I enjoyed Callum's friend Ed being Eddie Ripple and kind of that circle for Sophie and that coming into her life. I enjoyed hearing Rose's story. I thought it was a really good way to bring it together and get to hear Rose's side of things.
Lynn?
So the ending was literally my favorite part of the book. I love that Sophie redefined what her fairy tale ending would look like. And I hope that she and Ed had a baby and she has lots of time to find love and she's not in a rush. Grace and Callum found their way back to each other, and Grace started to heal from her postpartum and fall in love with her son. She also started creating again. I know that was like really heavily on her mind where she just couldn't write. Enigma found new fame. Veronica found something that hopefully she could commit to. Thomas and Deborah. Ron started appreciating Margie again. And then there was that mic drop moment from Rose. Rose, who's always been so sweet, kind of dreamy. She is the breadboard murderer. Like, she murdered her rapist. She's just such a badass old lady. She shot to just the front of my favorite characters with that move. Just an absolute icon.
Yeah, I had the same thing with Rose. That was definitely the icing on the cake, like to finish the book. Like, it was wonderful. I did enjoy that everything tied up kind of neatly, but kind of not. Like, I think it would have been really cheesy, like if Ed had not been gay and somehow found his way to Sophie. Like, that would have just been like so outlandish. But I love that like Connie got it just wrong enough. And I also love that maybe Margie and Ron stay together, but she took off to do her own thing for 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, she was less dependent on him. I love that. And she made him chase her.
Yeah.
She found herself. It's like she had never really found herself. And it's like going through the bodybuilding contest and doing everything together. It's like it gave her a chance to step away and find herself and treat herself with the love she deserved.
Well,
And just to emphasize that point even more, so much of the discussion about her body in the book was her struggling with it because I believe when she was young, she had big boobs and she always felt like she was on the market for men. And I just, she was constantly self-conscious of how much attention she got from men. And then she got fat. And again, that was out of her control. It was after she had Veronica. And she finally was able to take control of her own body again. Sorry, Julie, I think I cut you off.
yeah, no, I was just going to say, yeah, that's all true. And isn't it true that like you need to love yourself before you can love somebody else? And she kind of always took a back seat. And so when they do find their way back together, when she comes back and he's done all these projects that he's been putting off for years because he didn't really pay that much attention to her, he's going to appreciate her more. She's going to appreciate him more because she sees that he's trying. And, I think before she took this journey with the weight loss and the bodybuilding, she wasn't really in a position to, you know, initiate that morning sex or whatever, because she just didn't feel comfortable in her own skin. And so then how is she supposed to, you know, extend that towards him?
So let's start with Crystal. Did you cast any actors for the characters?
I did a little bit. I kept picturing Connie and Rose, and it's funny you brought up Downton, Julie, as like Maggie Smith and Penelope Wilton, just the two of them going back and forth again to each other, and at sometimes like Dame Judi Dench as well. Those were the three that kept going in my head for Rose, Connie, and Enigma for some reason. I just kept picturing those three. Couldn't cast anyone else. No idea about anyone else, but those three kept coming into my head for those characters.
Julie?
Yeah, I was trying to think about this and I definitely struggled. I have very, very clear pictures of them in my head, but none that relate to current actors or actresses. So yeah, that was a little tough for me.
Lynn?
So I was not trying to cheat, but when I was I was looking for a list of all the family members because I wanted to make sure I didn't forget anyone when I was writing up my notes on this. But I found they did produce a 6-part series, comedy drama on BBC back in 2025, and they did have a cast there.
Oh.
But those castings did not match what I was imagining, I will say. So I saw Sophie as like an Alexis Bledel, so Rory from the Gilmore Girls.
Yep.
Kind of cute, feisty, outgoing. And for Grace, I definitely saw more of a ScarJo type, that just sort of otherworldly beauty, but just standoffish. I saw Helen Mirren as Rose, just secret badass. And Meryl Streep as Connie, because the full matriarch vibes.
I like it.
See that?
I'm
looking it up now.
I
do like who they cast for Connie.
Is it anyone we know that's in it?
Angela Punch. She's been in a few things. It's just her face just works so well for Connie.
Huh.
If you Google it and you'll see her, and it does make sense.
Okay. I only had 3 that I kind of casted. I'm not like, there's only one I'm like really strongly feeling on. So for Rose, I had Lily Tomlin.
Mm.
I kind of picture her like her character from Grace and Frankie.
Yep.
Yes.
And then for Veronica, I had Dakota Johnson.
Oh.
Okay.
And then for Sophie, I had Jennifer Lawrence.
I always have Jennifer Lawrence in everything. I basically picture her as one of the characters in every book that we read.
That's usually how I am with Florence Pugh. She's usually the one I cast and everything, so I try to avoid her in this one.
So am I guessing that you just want to see Frankie bash in some old guy's head with a breadboard?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Oh my God, yes. Please.
Have you read any other books by Liane, or do you plan to? Lynn?
No, but I did really enjoy this book. I found it very well written, and I did feel like she did a great job developing her characters. But people here have mentioned, and when I looked at reviews, evidently this is one of her weaker works. So yes, I actually already downloaded Big Little Lies.
Did you see the show?
Yeah. No.
Oh, 2 seasons on HBO.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a sequel coming out to Big Little Lies this year.
I did see that.
Big Little Truths. Julie?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed her books. And like I said, the Apple Falls, I think it's called.
Apples Never Fall.
Apples Never Fall. That I really, really enjoyed. Big Little Lies, I really enjoyed. Truly,
Madly, Deeply.
Deeply. Yeah, Truly, Madly,
Guilty.
Guilty. I enjoyed. Not always great with the titles, but yeah, so I've been a fan of her work. And I didn't even know this one existed, so I'm glad that we read it.
Crystal?
I have not. I did watch Big Little Lies, though, and that was great. I would probably read something, and looking at her books, it looks like this was actually one of her very first books. So I would definitely go on to see what Big Little Lies is like. And I think, didn't they do 9 Perfect Strangers as a show as well?
They did. And also Apples Never Fall is also a show, too.
Oh, I haven't
Yeah,
seen the show, but that was my favorite of her
I
books.
think it's Apple TV. I believe is that Apple
no,
TV
I
or
think it's
Peacock?
Peacock. It's Peacock.
And
'Cause I
Nine
kept
Perfect
meaning to
Strangers.
watch it. Yeah.
I also read Nine Perfect Strangers. Yeah, she's good.
Yes, this is my fourth book from her, and I looked at my Goodreads. And I have 4 other ones that are on my TBR, so I guess I'm halfway through.
All right.
Anything else on the last anniversary before we move on?
No, but I'm glad you picked this book, Mike, because it introduced me to her, and evidently it somehow only improves from here.
Yeah, I think I've rated all the other books I've read from her higher than this one, or at
Oh
least
yeah.
tied with.
Here, One Moment. Apparently, that I gave 4 stars.
Same.
What Alice Forgot. I read that one. I've read quite a bit of them. The Hypnotist Love Story. I read that. Yeah, she's good.
So let's talk what we've been reading lately and any recommendations you have for our listeners. Lynn, why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, happy to. So I'm currently reading Great Big Beautiful Life from Emily Henry with Big Little Lies next on the docket. But I also really want to reread the Everflame series because the last book of the series is coming out soon. It's up for pre-order. I haven't gone after it yet, but I want to get myself back into that mindset before I dive in. And then I'm also in a book club that's reading So Old, So Young.
Oh, so
But
good.
I've heard.
I met the
Fortunately,
author.
oh, fortunately, I've started running again. So after a couple months hiatus, so I will have so much time to listen to audiobooks. What is So Old, So Young about? I haven't
So,
heard of that.
so I think it's 5 friends, and it goes through, I think it's 5 different points in their friends like relationship, and it's like there's like college, and then like a couple of moments like after college, and it'll dive into like each of their mindsets at this point in their life.
And I think it's geared towards people that are Mike and my age group, like went to college in 2004 timeframe.
Yeah, I think the timeline like perfectly lined up.
Yeah. Which I don't know how old you guys are, but I graduated college in '04. So yeah. Okay.
I'm old. Oh.
You're
No, I
not
graduated
old.
in 98, so that makes me sound younger. Is it my turn? I
Yes.
recently read Secret Life of Sunflowers for my book club. And it was about how Van Gogh's sister-in-law basically was the one who put his name on the map. Like when he was alive and he was crazy and he was hanging out at brothels and, he cut off his ear and he gave it to a prostitute and, he was known as being crazy. And his sister-in-law was married to his brother Theo. She really was the champion of his work. And it's given in a dual timeline. So it's like somebody current time reading a diary. And then in the past, when she's the protagonist and she's telling the story of trying to champion his work. And I was an art history major for a little while. And so, it was really, really fascinating to think that somebody like Van Gogh could have possibly not been celebrated as the master that he was because, of his mental illness. And this same author, Marta Molnar, has 2 other books, The Girl with the Braided Hair or something, and I think they're similar, like telling the true life historical fiction of art masters. So I'm looking forward to reading those. And then I also read Intermezzo, which has been popular now on the bestsellers list by Sally Rooney. And that it shows like chess. The thing, Mikey, you would like it because it takes place in Dublin. So I love that because I can like picture where they are in Dublin and like Temple Bar and all the places in Ireland. And And it's about these brothers, and one of them is kind of maybe on the spectrum, but he's like a chess whiz, and just really like an interesting family dynamic, just character study of who they are and kind of how they're going through life. And, you know, things aren't always clean cut and they get messy. And I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
Crystal, you're up. Did we lose her?
Let's see. So I am currently reading The Mistake, which is the set. Oh no! Did you?
No, you're there.
We can hear you.
No.
Can
I
she
think
not
there's
hear
just a
us?
lag. For the love of Pete.
Wi-Fi
Oh, okay.
problems.
Good. Yay. No, I can hear you guys. I think it's just my luck with technology. So currently reading The Mistake, which is the second book in the off-campus series. And I just needed something simple. And I recently read The Weight of I Love You
Mhm.
by a certain someone and loved it, of course. And
Great
read
book.
the latest Heartstopper, which was great. And I promised yes, I promised last podcast that I would read All the Bright Places, and I did read it.
Uh-oh.
I,
The book.
Now,
I think we're losing her.
I do have to say, on the note about The Weight of I Love You, I went to Lucky Lou's a couple weeks ago, and I was walking down the street outside Lucky Lou's into the public parking there, and I was picturing the scenes from that book like a movie that I had seen. And I'm like, but it was a book. But I mean, yeah, kudos, because it was so well written. It just brought me right back to that book when I was walking down that street.
Yeah, incredible imagery. I will plug that for anyone listening. Weight of I Love You. Great book.
Much
Agreed.
appreciated.
Crystal, are you back?
I've been here.
I
Wait,
think
yay.
our timing's back on.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, I literally am now sitting next to the window in the hotel room to have better service. My bad. But I think the last book I read was, oh gosh, All the Bright Places, because I promised last podcast I would read it. I did love the book. I absolutely hated the movie.
Agreed.
Interesting.
But that's what I've been reading lately.
I think that just leaves me, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I will
Yep, I
have
was just going to ask, what have you read?
I have one definite recommendation, one I think recommendation, and one pass. So
Oh.
my absolute recommendation is Dungeon Crawler Carl. Fucking loved it. There's a talking cat named Princess Donut, so that's a win.
Oh,
Did you
Princess
write it?
Donut was the best part of that book. I'm sorry.
My kind of recommendation is One Yellow Eye by Leah Radford. So essentially it takes place during the zombie apocalypse. The main character is a leading disease doctor where she's like helping to develop the cure for the zombie virus. I think like the book takes place 6 months after, but we find out very early on that her husband turned into a zombie and she has him locked in their apartment
Oh.
Terrifying.
while she's trying to develop the cure. The reason why I say I think I recommend it was because when I finished the book, I was 2 gummies deep floating in the pool, and the ending's a little fuzzy.
Oh, I don't know how you can take a
I
gummy and read, because anytime I have any THC in my system, like I will just reread the same page for 20 minutes straight.
Yeah, I'll try. And then the next day I'm like, I don't know what I read.
So that's why I'm like, I think I recommend it because I think I really enjoyed it, but I can't 100% tell you if I like the ending or not. Like if this was the podcast, I'd be like, did the ending satisfy? Not so sure.
Under certain conditions.
Just question mark.
And then the book I can't recommend, and it's sad for me to say this, so it was Time to Shine by Rachel Reed. As you know, we all love the Heated Rivalry series. This standalone from her was just not it. Brendan read it before me, and all he could say over and over again was, "There's a character scare in the dark, and there's no reason for it."
Yes, that I agree with you. That was definitely not her best writing.
I'm wondering if it was her first book. I didn't look at the timeline of when she released them, but it seems like it could have been.
Maybe.
But that one I can't give my stamp of approval on. It was fine. I'm currently in the middle of 4 books. One of Us by Craig DeLuey, Infinity Kings by Adam Silvera, The Book Club Murders by Maggie Allswell, and I'm about to start These Summer Storms by Sarah McLean.
Well, I just finished my last book an hour and 15 minutes ago. So I read before bed tonight, and we're heading out on the road for our Davapalooza week. So I'll have a lot of reading in the camper in between shows.
Dave Matthews Band or?
Yes.
Nice.
4 shows in a week.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Plenty of downtime to read.
Yes.
Where are you going?
Guilford, New Hampshire for 2 shows, and then Saratoga Springs, New York for 2 shows. And then Hartford.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Saratoga is nice, especially with Treehouse now across the street.
I love that venue. The nice thing about Guilford is we've never been to Guilford, but it's right on Lake Winnipesaukee, and we'll be camping right in the venue. So there's no driving. We're just walking from the camper into the venue.
That's great.
Yeah. So
Lynn, that was like us at Hershey.
Yeah. But other weekends, I don't really remember that well, but I know I had fun.
It was always like 1,000 degrees, so you just kept drinking nonstop.
Oh, and it was always like ridiculous thunderstorms at night.
Yep.
But you're too drunk to do anything about it.
All right, so let's get on to our bullshit topic of the week.
Bullshit, woo!
I was originally going to call this topic eating out, and I thought that would sound inappropriate. So we're going to call it dining out. And so we will start with Lynn. What is your favorite restaurant?
So I struggled with
you
this
give
because
multiple.
I feel like I need genres. Like for a date night, probably Present Company in Simsbury.
Yeah.
For a work event or a group dinner, the Charles in Wethersfield. Or like a random Sunday, I want tacos, Sayulita in Glastonbury.
Julie?
I was trying to decide what I thought mine was. I think it is hard to narrow it down. I love Mikado for sushi in Middletown. For family takeout dinner at Amici's, they have a $40 family takeout dinner where you can get like a tray of chicken parm, a tray of salad, and focaccia bread, which is ridiculously priced, and it lasts us for days. For a lobster roll, Lenny and Joe's fishtail down the shore. Like, it's hard to narrow it down without a category. But yeah, those are the standouts.
Crystal?
I need to try the family meal from
Amici's. They have 3 different choices for the week. Sorry, go ahead.
I think we're losing her again.
Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, very robotic voice.
Like, yeah.
Where I'm up.
Little Max Headroom.
Maybe we should pivot to Mike's while Crystal's working.
All right, so I will say for like local, probably J. Gilbert's or Cantina in Middletown.
Yep.
Love Cantina. I will also add on my Dublin places of Beef and Cock and Doom Slice, which people who read my book know I mentioned Doom Slice, and it's a real place.
Yeah, I didn't even think internationally or.
Well, like I would go back to Dublin just to go to those 2 places.
Oh boy. If we're talking like New York City, like Joe Allen's is where I go every time I go to New York City. I love their Eggs Benedict on Sunday when I'm in there for a matinee, and they make the hollandaise sauce like every Sunday fresh because they only have brunch on Sunday, and it is the best Eggs Benedict on the planet. It's so good. But yeah, the food is so good and restaurants are so good. It's hard to narrow it down.
We are going to continue moving on. I think we've temporarily or permanently lost Crystal. So
Yeah.
we will continue. 3 go-to meals when you're dining out, Lynn.
So again, I struggled with this because it's really hard to say. Like if I'm at a work dinner, I'm at work dinners like 3 nights a week. So usually I just pick the fish because I'm trying to not die of heart disease. If it's takeout, absolutely sushi, usually nigiri. Otherwise, I'm team try something new.
That's not a go-to though. You don't know what it is.
I need a genre because it changes. I'm not like the kind of person that's like, I'm going to get the chicken parm at every single place. Like, I don't know.
Julie,
For me, like I love a good, and you're gonna laugh at me, but I love a good beet salad. Like beet salad,
Oh, I love
arugula.
beet salad.
Yeah, like if there's a beet salad, arugula, like feta, nuts, whatever, then that's what I'm getting. It's checking all the boxes. Beyond that, definitely an entree salad that has, even sometimes they have like butternut squash or what is it? Salute in Hartford and Rocky Hill. They have a seasonal salad that has butternut squash in it. And it literally changed my life. So I'm always looking for those. And beyond that, usually a fish because my husband doesn't like fish. So I don't usually make fish at home. So I do like to get it when we go out. But those are the 2 things that like scanning the menu for something like that.
I feel like I'm like a basic bitch when I give my 3 answers.
Steak. Let's see, steak.
Steak. Thanks,
Chicken
Lynn.
parm.
Chicken parm. And the number one go-to, a
Burger.
cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know you, but I will say if there is mango on the menu, I'm probably ordering that.
Yeah.
If there is a really interesting avocado dish on the menu, I'm probably ordering that. So I think it's more ingredients that I'm more likely to gravitate towards.
Not an actual like dish.
No, no, not. So I have issues ordering steak out. For some reason, everyone thinks I want my steak well done when in actuality, I want it mooing.
Yeah.
It's always overdone and I'm always disappointed. Like it's always like I've sent it back before because it's been gray all the way through. So I don't do steak. Burgers, I like a burger on the Weber. Like I'm very, I don't know. I'm weird about the kind of standard meals.
Interesting. Speaking of standard meals, Lynn, favorite fast food restaurant?
So, does El Pollo Guapo work here?
No, that is not
No.
fast food.
Not fast food.
All right. So just I don't align politically, but lately it's been Chick-fil-A because it's just been really easy with a toddler. They have a full toddler menu and they have an enclosed toddler playscape that's like completely plastic see-through. So I can sit there and eat while my son is having fun and then occasionally coming out and like wanting like eating like a chicken where I just sort of pass him french fries, pass him nuggets. So it's just become a necessity now when I need quick calories.
And part 2, favorite fast food fries?
Oh, Five Guys Cajun fries. I know Crystal mentioned
Red Robin.
Red Robin. They have great french fries too, but I love Five Guys french fries. So this is another one where I'm weirdly picky because so many places, I don't know, they don't change out their oil enough, but sometimes it just tastes like rancid oil or burnt. But Five Guys is always solid.
Now, I will say, like, for Crystal, I would not put Red Robin into the fast food category because it is a
Right.
sit-down restaurant.
True.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
Five Guys, I made the mistake of going there when they had their, I think it was anniversary dinner where it was like buy one, get one free burgers. Oh my God. The one in Glastonbury, I must have been waiting like an hour. It was a
Oh
nightmare.
no.
Julie, favorite fast food restaurant and then favorite fast food fries?
I would have to say my favorite fast food restaurant is Taco Bell because I do love a good Mexican pizza, 2 crispy tacos. I love their chicken power bowl, I think they're calling it. So yeah, Taco Bell would be where it's at. That's where I would choose. The fries, which it's interesting because there's another question that's later that is going to dispute all of this. The fries, I think I have to say McDonald's. Like,
Yes.
there's just something addictive about them. Like, when they are hot and fresh and salty, there's just nothing like them.
Agreed.
McDonald's fries dipped in a chocolate frosty.
Yes.
Heaven. Heaven.
Yeah. Chocolate milkshake, ketchup, whatever, alone. It doesn't matter. They're so good.
I think Crystal's back in time to give us her favorite fast food restaurant and fast food fries.
I think I am.
You are.
Maybe?
Yay!
I give up. Fast food restaurant was going to be McDonald's all the way, and fries was McDonald's.
Excellent. And I will second everything that Crystal just said. McDonald's fries, but bonus shout out to Arby's curly fries.
Ooh, Arby's curly fries are clutch. I
Although
do like a little curl to my fry.
the Arby's in Newington did close though, so it's getting harder to find them.
Did you know Arby's is called Arby's because it stands for roast beef? Arby's.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh,
So smart.
Your fast food lore.
I
for
do
the
love
day.
fast food so much. All right.
I learned so much from this.
While she still has connection, Crystal, least favorite
Yeah.
restaurant.
Oh, that was the one I didn't have anything written down for.
Least
I
favorite?
feel-
I don't even remember seeing that one.
Yeah. I can't really think of much except for, I don't know, I got food poisoning from Wendy's, and since then I haven't been able to go back.
I mean, that is a valid reason.
Yeah.
Since Julie's still thinking, Lynn.
So I have 2 that I
I
put
do too.
down. Burger King, just because I've never really found anything there that I liked. Please don't hate me. And Applebee's because it just feels dirty.
Such a good call.
Julie.
So I would have to say I hadn't even thought about it because I haven't thought about it, but I don't see myself ever going to Wendy's. Like, I don't understand the square burger. I want a nice round burger that's like the same shape as the bun. I don't understand any of that. So maybe Wendy's would be my answer. And I like Applebee's. I mean, it may be dirty, but I used to go, there used to be one closer and we used to go a lot and they would have like a clutch steak, cheap ass meal. That was really good.
So I've never been there. I have 2 also. Red Lobster I've never been to because nothing will ever intrigue me on that menu. So it's horrible for me to call it least favorite if I've never been there. But Applebee's was the one I did put down.
Cheers.
I got this it was like a honey garlic chicken mac and cheese. It was like chicken tenders and mac and cheese. I'm like, how could they fuck this up so bad? It's so basic. And it was one of the worst mac and cheese I've ever had in my life.
That just seems like a lot what was it? Honey chicken glazed curry, what?
It was like honey garlic chicken tenders on top of mac and cheese.
Okay.
But like each item separately was also terrible. So it wasn't like the combination was bad. Like the mac and cheese was like super liquidy. Like,
Ugh.
yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was bad. And like Brett and I both got the same thing. We're both very disappointed by it.
That's so sad.
I know. Best dessert you've ever ordered, Julie.
Any chocolate lava cake, basically.
Doesn't matter where.
Does not matter where. Yeah. I mean, you have that on the menu, I will follow you to the ends of the earth.
Crystal?
I had two written down, and they're two pretty recent ones. Probably why they're stuck in my head. The cannoli pie thing from Casadoro that we got was,
Oh, yeah.
again, that thing was amazing, and I almost door dashed it last week. And then the Red Fox in Middlefield, I don't think it's called Red Fox, Red Fox Amore in Middlefield, they have a berry tart that is so good. It's just fresh berries and phyllo bread. It's really yummy and like cannoli filling. Highly suggest that.
Lynn?
I love cannolis, so both of Crystal's recommendations just really appealed to me. In fact, like I am a sucker for cannoli. That's usually my backup if my number one is not on the menu, which is chocolate souffle. And this makes me sound like a basic bitch because I am not a cruise person. I'm not a cruise person, but and my first thought was Mike J and I went on this cruise in our 20s, and I think we each ordered like 2 chocolate souffles because they were so perfectly cooked. They were moist. Sorry, everyone. And they had like this, they were a little bit spongy. They had the sauce put over. It was so good. But that might have been the whole bottle of wine we drank beforehand.
Probably.
What about you, Mike?
I think I've had a lot of good desserts in my lifetime, but there's one that haunts me because the restaurant has never had it again after having it. When we first moved into the house, it was 2011. We went to Lucky Lou's, and they had a chocolate Chambord creme brulee.
Ooh.
This was a delicious creme brulee to the point where we would call them almost weekly to see if they had it.
Do you have it yet?
They've never had it. Yeah, and they've never had it since, as far as I know, which is very disappointing.
Oh,
you need to like make a copycat recipe or something.
I do want to try making a creme brulee. Never done it before.
You could do it.
I think so. Crystal, what is something that always tastes better when you order it out?
Breakfast, which ties to one of my favorite restaurants, I was trying to say. Carmela's in Middletown. I absolutely love her breakfast. And pancakes just taste better when I don't have to make them. And
that is such a true statement.
So breakfast true. All the way.
But I agree particularly with pancakes. Like my pancakes never turn out anything remotely close to what you order out.
How funny.
Same with French toast. Well, Craig makes good French toast, but like there's just something about going out and getting French toast or pancakes or Benedict, and just tastes so much better when someone else makes it.
I think it's like all the years of like the shit stuck on the griddle. It just adds to the pancake flavor.
True.
Julie?
Now, it's funny because when Lynn was answering about the steak that she never likes when she goes out, like I think steak tastes better because they season it properly, they do it differently. They don't just throw it on a grill, but maybe they like finish it in the oven or something. There's all these techniques. And maybe because I'm not marinating it and grilling it that it tends to taste better. But I would definitely say steak is one of the things that always tastes better when I get it out. And maybe fish because they have like special sauces and stuff, or everything tastes better when it's out. And salad, you don't have to clean and cut and, buy all the stuff. So yeah.
I am such a spoiled bitch. My husband, it makes the best steak I've ever had. And that's just spoiled me for every restaurant.
So what
he does the sous vide, and then he like sears the outside, so it's just that like almost crispy outside and like the perfectly cooked inside. Oh, heaven!
See, that's the thing. Yeah, I don't know how to do all that.
So Lynn, for you, what's something that tastes better when you order it out?
Hands down, Indian food and Jamaican food. Those were 2 things I missed so much during the COVID lockdown. I tried to recreate some of the recipes at home, but it just didn't hit like it hits at the restaurant.
We need to go out for
or
Indian
takeout.
food.
Yes, please. Take me.
I will say Crystal kind of threw me off with the pancakes thing because that was something I didn't think of, and it's absolutely something. But for me, it's salads. Like, I don't know if it's because they serve it like in a cold bowl, but like it always is better when you order out in a restaurant. And I don't order salads out often unless it's like a side salad, because if I'm ordering out, I want something more substantial than a salad.
And the salad dressings like are so much better.
Oh yeah.
I tend to make my own salad dressing, but it ends up tasting the same every time I make it. Oddly enough. Yeah, so I like the variety.
All right, Julie, give me 2 to 3 discontinued menu items in their restaurant, if you have it, that you want back right now.
Well, the one that I thought of, which is not my favorite fast food restaurant, nor my favorite fast food fries, is from Burger King, and it was called the BK Stacker. And I used to work part-time at West Farms, and I would go by Burger King at the end of my shift, and I would get this BK Stacker meal. It was 2 burgers with cheese, and then there was what they call the Stacker sauce, which was like melted cheese on top of the 2 burgers with bacon and then the bun. It was so freaking good. And I don't believe they have the BK Stacker anymore. And thank God, because, once you start eating them, then you just can't. You have to get one every week. Like, I will say the other, like, I don't eat fast food a lot, but I know for a while Taco Bell did away with the Mexican pizza, which is like one of my favorite things on the menu. So I'm glad that that is back. That's about, I can't really think of anything else
that
they've done
screams to
away
you.
with. Right. Peanut Butter Parfait from Dairy Queen is one of my favorites. They still have that. I think that might have gone away for a little bit, but it's back because it has the salted peanuts in the hot fudge, and they're throughout the sundae. So there's like some salted peanuts on the bottom with hot fudge, then ice cream, then hot fudge and salted peanuts, then ice cream. So you get the toppings all the way through. But yeah, that's about it.
The layers of ingredients that Julie mentioned, just do you remember there was that, I think it was KFC where they did like a chicken sandwich, only the buns were fried chicken.
Yeah, double down.
Yes.
It almost made my
Okay,
list.
sorry. Go on, Crystal. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. I had a hard time with this one. I would say like just old school Pizza Hut in general. I think we talked about this actually in the last podcast too. Just old school 80s Pizza Hut. I don't know what it's this Pizza Hut does not hit the same, but I want the Pizza Hut of my childhood. I want those pizzas, and kind of cheating, but I forever have wanted the apple pies back at McDonald's, and they are now back at McDonald's.
Did you end up getting them?
I didn't. It was really bad, but I'm going to give it another shot.
We loved them.
See, I think my McDonald's just sucked. So
Oh.
I'm willing to taste test another one because yeah, I think that needs to happen. There was something else I thought of last minute and now I can't think of it, but those apple pies were always on my mind.
Oh God, you just reminded me that I have, with the Pizza Hut comment, I haven't had a stuffed crust pizza since college.
I love stuffed crust pizza.
Honestly, that should be the standard. Every other pizza should have unstuffed crust. It should just be crust comes stuffed.
There was just something about going and having that little pan pizza in the red plastic cups for
I
your
was
soda.
just gonna say the red plastic cup. Yes.
I just want that. I don't want the 2026 version. I want the 80s version where I know it's probably all going to kill me. I don't care. That's the version I want.
Lynn, I think we have you for discontinued.
Yes. Yeah. So what immediately came to mind was the snack wraps from McDonald's. I loved me some grilled chicken snack wrap. Are they?
Yep.
Oh.
Julie's a fan of them.
Oh yeah.
And the caramel apple empanadas from Taco Bell.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then the last thing is just Friendlies. I know they're still around, but like I haven't had a happy ending sundae in decades.
Yeah.
There's one in Southington.
And Newington.
Friendly's is
Good to know because all the ones I knew about have gone out of business at this point.
Yep.
So I kind of cheated. I kind of have 5 items.
Oh my gosh.
But because all 3 of them all came from the same restaurant and I worked there, so I couldn't choose between the 3.
So
Chili's. It was the Shanghai wings, the buffalo chicken salad, which was the first thing I ever ate at Chili's. And I was so sad when they discontinued it, which you'd think they'd have all the ingredients to make it anyway. And the Kickin' Jack nachos they had, which had a special spice on it. And I have scoured the internet to figure out a recipe for what they called the margarita spice they put on the Kickin' Jack nachos. And I cannot find a copycat recipe. I used to put that shit on everything when I worked there. Number 2, the original volcano menu at Taco Bell.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Loved the volcano menu.
Agree.
And last, this is a throwback to teenage years, the Arch Deluxe from McDonald's.
I don't remember that one.
It had a special sauce on it. It was delicious. It was right around
Mike
the
was
time
an avid
McDonald's historian.
McDonald's. I was going to say McDonald's Monopoly player. So he tried all the things.
I mean, same.
Did they bring the arch back at some point temporarily?
No, they called it something different, and it wasn't exactly the same. It was called the Big Arch, I think.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
It was not the same.
Okay.
So, kind of sad.
I also miss when Panera was good. If we're talking about throwbacks,
and that was hospital food.
It's so bad
and so expensive.
What's the what are we at? 3, 4, 5 for you? What were the others?
I think that was 5.
That was I gave all 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're good. An underrepresented meal at restaurants, Lynn.
So soup. Like I know restaurants have the soup du jour, but like in the fall and winter, sometimes I just want like a really good bowl of soup and there just aren't many options. So you can get like chili, you can get clam chowder or have like the canned chicken noodle soup, but that's not what I want. I want like a really good hearty stew soup. So usually when I'm in the mood for it, I go with pho, excuse me. But what I want is just a really good soup sandwich salad place.
And Panera's not it anymore.
God, no. I think that's why I was thinking I misspent Panera. Although Panera's soup the go-to soup was definitely the cheddar broccoli, and that by itself was 5,000 calories.
Julie, underrepresented meal?
I would say I don't think every restaurant should have it, but I think any restaurant that could have it should have a BLT available. You know, they could glam it up if it's a fancier place, but I love a good BLT. Big, thick, crusty bread, lots of bacon, lots of lettuce, lots of tomato, maybe an avocado. And you really have to go to a diner to get a BLT. So I think that should be available more places.
Crystal?
I had absolutely nothing for this until you guys started talking, and I'm going to go with the soup, but a non-cream based soup, because
yes,
some of us have some issues with lactose and would love to have some New England clam chowder, but cannot have that. So some non-cream based soups would be absolutely amazing.
Right.
Mine is chicken and waffles.
Oh.
Because it's very easy to do. And it's not really that popular. I mean, I'm guessing the South it's a lot more popular, but up here it's not as common.
I was going to say, do you think it's just a regional thing?
Probably.
Have you had chicken and waffle pizza?
No.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there is a place near our friend's house where every time we go there for a pool, we end up ordering pizza. And that's one of the go-tos because it has like a sriracha maple syrup on top of it. Just heaven.
Huh.
Iliano's has a chicken and waffle pizza. It's really good.
They do?
Yeah.
Oh, when I get home, we will be trying that.
Yeah. At least the South Main. I don't know about Washington, but South Main does.
Okay.
Sometimes they vary a little bit.
All right. Last question before we go on to our rapid response segment. A type of restaurant or cuisine you have no interest in trying, Lynn.
So before I had Jake, my answer would have been Chick-fil-A because of the politics. But now I guess like Gold Club? I have zero interest in going to strip club buffets.
So much so that it's no longer called the Gold Club.
Oh, damn.
Right, it's not Gold Club anymore.
Crystal.
I mean, I've never had any interest in strip club buffets either, and I feel like that beats my other options that I wrote down. I wrote down options I have had, but I have absolutely no interest in ever having again. Indian, I just can't find something that I like, and traditional Filipino. When I was in the Philippines, our team took us out to a traditional restaurant, and it was just not for me, I will say. And I have no interest in trying traditional Filipino food again.
Julie.
I didn't think I had an answer to this until I heard Lynn's.
It's a great answer.
It is a great answer. I mean, my answer was I would be a lot thinner if there were a lot more food that I was uninterested in. But
Yeah, same
but I
girl.
pretty much like everything. But I don't really have any interest in eating food where people's bits are flying around. So I like to keep my food.
That might be the title.
I'm writing it down.
I like to keep my food and my bits separate. So
Good answer. Good answer. All right, Mike, it's on you now.
Jesus. Mine's just tame compared now. I'm just going to say vegan restaurants because who wants that?
Vegan strip club restaurant. I was just about to say that.
No, you can't have a vegan strip club. If there's meat, there's meat. I mean,
All right, yep. Fair.
although we went to It's Only Natural in Middletown once
Love
with a
Only
double
Natural.
date, and we just completely vegan. And my husband, who is a very meat and potatoes kind of guy, was like very suspect of everything that was supposed to be meat, but was like, vegetable based chicken or whatever. And then he had this like coconut cake or whatever for dessert. And he had been very quiet the entire evening. And he took one bite into this cake and he was like, "This is fucking awesome." There, like in a quiet, very small restaurant, he just could not contain his excitement for this dessert.
They used to have the best carrot cake too.
Yeah.
Their carrot cake and their coconut cake are amazing. Their sweet potato fries are amazing as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you might want
So
to
there is
consider that.
Yeah, there is a vegan food truck that shows up to the Coventry Farmers Market every week. It's Jamaican vegan food, and it is so good, to the point where I tend to go with a bunch of guys, and they all get the vegan Jamaican because it's that good.
Ooh.
Interesting. I wonder if it's the same one that goes to the athletic
you're
games.
hanging out with.
Well, my husband, who's very much a meat and potato guy, and his beer brewing friends, because they like the fact that they can drink at 10 o'clock in the morning in a field at a farmer's
There
market.
you go.
And the Jamaican just is that good. Like, you don't miss the meat somehow.
There you go.
All right. It's time for everyone's favorite segment, Rapid Response. I think everyone knows how it works. Who'd like to go first?
I'll go first just in case something else happens to my connection.
All right.
That's smart.
And will be a mix of either you need to respond to it or pick from multiple choice.
Oh, no.
All right, ready?
Yep.
The worst appetizer.
Apparently, I love appetizers because I can't think of one at all. Olives.
Great answer. A margarita, a mojito, or a mule.
Margarita.
A food that grosses you out that others order at a restaurant.
Oh my God, these are hard. Lobster in its shell.
Pick a dessert, creme brulee, cake, or gelato.
Cake.
Chili's, Ruby Tuesdays, or Applebee's.
Chili's.
Best Taco Bell item.
Soft taco supreme.
Julie,
Yes.
the worst appetizer.
Again, I have a hard time with this, but I am usually not a fan of buffalo things.
Interesting. A margarita, a mojito, or a mule.
Margarita.
A food that grosses you out that others order at restaurants.
I really cannot order veal.
Ooh, that's my go-to.
Creme brulee, cake, or gelato.
Cake, but only if it's chocolate.
That's very specific. Chili's, Ruby Tuesdays, or Applebee's.
Chili's.
Best Taco Bell item.
The number 7, which is Mexican pizza with 2 crispy tacos.
All right, Lynn, you're up.
All right.
The worst appetizer.
Rocky Mountain oysters.
Ugh. How many places are you eating at where that's an appetizer option?
That was the worst thing I could think of.
Good call.
A margarita, a mojito, or a mule.
Oh, that's tough. I gotta go mojito though.
A food that grosses you out others order at restaurants.
Rocky Mountain oysters.
Can't give you the same answer twice. Another one.
Something that's dripping with butter. I'm weird. I'm not a huge fan of butter.
Creme brulee, cake, or gelato.
Creme brulee.
Chili's, Ruby Tuesdays, or Applebee's.
Chili's.
I'm so happy all of you said Chili's. It makes me so happy.
It's like, would you like this delicious thing or this gross thing or this disgusting thing? Like, come on.
And the best Taco Bell item.
Crunchwrap Supreme.